Hey everybody, Steve Basic Architect here. I'm up here in the woods of Maine, and today we're going to talk about some special venting details on a roof. But the reason you can't see me is because I'm balancing my 150-pound frame at the top of this step ladder, hoping that I don't fall off, even though they do call me the cat. But anyways, we're up here at the soffit line, and as you can see here, we have a pretty nifty detail. So we have our Siga MyVest runs up the wall, and here we'll get you here a quick shot. So it comes up the exterior wall, and that's our exterior weather resistive barrier and air barrier. And you can see that comes up and gets taped. Well, the Siga MyVest runs up a layer of roof sheathing that's in that plane there to maintain continuity around the corner, up the roof, and then it comes down the other side. But in order to vent this roof, and you can go check out the last week's video where I talked about using spray foam and a dense pack vented roof, where we're doing this detail with Christy, one of the partners at Proper Modern Home here in Maine. And we came up with this detail. So here you can see the vent space. And that vent space is built by using a 2x4 here on the vertical that gets spiked to a 2x4 on the flat. Well, that 2x4 on the flat runs up the roof for probably a good 6 feet. And that builds out the soffit. And then we have the second layer of roof sheathing here, which is the actual roof sheathing. The bottom one is more of a kind of an exterior sheathing, weather barrier, or air barrier continuity place for the MyVest to attach to. But you can see right there, there's that 1.5 inch space that runs all the way up to the high part of the roof and vents out the top. So really neat detail. Let's jump back to the studio. We'll break out this detail and we'll talk a little bit more about it. All right, so you saw it. Hauled my frame up that ladder, got right under the eave there so you can see that vent space. But now it's time to break out the details, break out Big Red, and continue that discussion. So let's have at it. All right, got Big Red out, got our detail out. Yeah, so there's that double wall assembly we have there. You can see there's the two 2x4 double top plate, two 2x6 exterior bearing wall. This one's the bearing wall. This one is non-load bearing. All right, so our trusses, you can see, fully seat on top of there. But when we're talking about that vented roof, remember, what we were looking at is we had that insect screen across here, and you can see there's an 1.5 inch vented space. So somewhere here we have that 2x4 that runs up the roof and provides that vented space. And then here is that 3.5 inch dimension. So basically what you're looking at is you have the 2x4 that goes up the roof, but that sits with the tail like that. And then this is sitting on the plywood. And then we have the upper piece of plywood there. So this is that vented airspace here, where the air is going up into. So we have a slotted soffit there. So we have a number of 5/8 inch vent spaces there. So the air goes into there, and then it goes up that 1.5 inch airspace. And what that allows us to do is, you know, we're down the roof, but over at the upper part of the roof, the net would be hanging down from the roof truss. So we were able to put the insulation up high and then have space below the insulation to run mechanicals and such up into the attic. So you also saw it there, you know, we had our weather resistant barrier. We turn the corner here, that picks up the Sega MyVest that'll run across the ceiling here, but we also ran that up. Sega MyRex is inside here. The Sega MyVest runs up, turns the corner here, and then you can see somewhere here 5/8 inch plywood, or all joints are cleaned, taped, and rolled. So basically our primary air barrier is down here, but our secondary air barrier is up there, but any moisture that wants to migrate is going to get in that vent space and get whisked away. So vented roof assembly using cellulose. This is a blown in cellulose in there. So yeah, vented roof. Can use some of the space there. It's topside venting on top of the roof sheathing. You can see the trusses were all truncated here, so the rafter tail was actually made up as part of that extension venting system. And then we have that second layer of plywood that runs on top. So anyways, that's the top-sided roof vented truss assembly. All right, there you have it. That's how we vent on top of the roof, so we can use that space up in there. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed that. If you're looking for more, Steve Baczek Architect on Instagram, posting stuff daily. Go check it out. Give it a follow. Tell all your friends. All that good stuff. Be part of the discussion. Check out all the videos on the Build Show Network here. I got some great colleagues here putting up some great stuff. We're probably talking thousands of videos at this point. So definitely a lot to learn and check out. So lastly, Unbuild It Podcast. Yep, it's up there. Jake Bruton, Peter Yost, and myself talking everything building. Go check it out. You can find it on all the audio channels if you want to listen. If you actually want to see the antics, we're up on YouTube. You can go check it out there too. So until next time, long live our buildings.